Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kitzer here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka!
This here's my boomstick.
Hey, that's my boomstick. That's my boomstick. I know. It is a marketing. It was a marketing fail. Steven, welcome to Kickin'it Old Skool once again. We made another week, another Fridays here. Almost the middle of February already, 2024.
Lawn snowbank is down to about a foot. That's unheard of. Global warming.
Global warming.
And
global
apparently
snow.
I'm muted.
Nope, you're fixed. You're fixed.
I'm fixed. Okay.
Remember, it isn't Kicking Old Skool. There's a small audio glitch on every single show. It's kind of our staple, right, Steven? It's our staple.
I don't know. I mean, you could hear me, but I guess they couldn't hear me.
You should be good now.
Hopefully. Testing.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me? Mute. Okay, we can hear him now. All right.
Good. Yeah.
It
helps.
muted.
It helps
Hello.
when you unmute the microphone after a boom shakalaka. You know, you should untake off the mute.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just getting over COVID.
Yeah, I want to
Or the
apologize
big
again
C.
to everyone about last week. I'm still shot. After this show, I guarantee I'm going to be out. No energy. So I do apologize for last week. I always try and say to everyone, show must go on. But last Friday, the show just... I'd be in bed.
Well, I sent you a message and you're like, dude, I got the big C. I'm out. I'm like, yeah, get better. Done. You know, it would have been pretty weird just having me to do the show. So,
an alligator saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of sunshine. Good for you, JLS.
An alligator. It's not groundhogs over there, I guess, in Florida. Huh. Well, we got the gang. We have 60 people in here.
We do. You want to go through the chat, Steve, and welcome everyone the
I
show?
will try because there's a whole lot of people in here. So we've got, let's see, at the top of the list, we got Goofyfoot, Triumph or Die, and Jason. These guys were all waiting in line, basically around the corner kind of thing. Pliskin's Run, Hobby Hands, Andy's Game Room, Mike Hawk hurts. He hurts a lot. I
Gotta
don't
get
know.
that checked, man. You gotta get that checked.
Turn your head and cough. Turn your head and cough. Jeremy Simpson, Paul Capel. I want to say these names properly. Wiley Hansen, JLS Gaming, and yes, we did start, dude. We're good. Adam Kalb. Let's see, Electric Adventures from Down Under, in the land of Tasmania with all the devils. There's probably none left, but anyway. Ben Bauer, 128K Games. Let's see who else we got in here. Paul, our regular. He's like Norm from Cheers. He has a special chair in our show. Who else we got here? Biggity's Arcade. Hopefully I don't skip too many people here. Stardust 727. Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Apkus. Chit for Brains. 19K Fox, we had you on the show. A while
Boom.
back,
Yes,
so
we
we'll
did. We have to have him on
get you
again. Meet him on
Yeah,
again.
for sure. Rogue Lyrics, Stephen M. Let's see, Darth Penguin, Will, Widow, and X-Bit Sam, and I'm not going any further.
Hey, I think we can hit everyone. So welcome, guys. Again, apologize for last week. We have a pretty good show, I think, tonight. A lot of things to discuss. But before we get to those things, Steven, you were brought up a minute ago. Gina Carano
in our chat.
and Lucas and
Okay, yeah. Apparently, Gina Carano is suing Disney. Who knows if she's going to win? Yeah.
Hey,
it's like,
wait, Elon Musk got her lawyer, didn't he?
See, they're suing these guys. Woo!
Yes. Woo! Go after Gina. Come on, Gina. Go after Disney.
So basically, Elon Musk is funding the whole lawyer thing. He is in a war with them. He basically told them to, go screw themselves, basically. And I think he's just trying to prove a point. No idea if they're going to win. But in the end, I'm of the belief that they shouldn't have fired her on Twitter. It's like, that's so stupid. That was dumb. That's literally no class for the mouse to do that, or Lucasfilm or whatever.
It was so
She no longer
stupid.
for us on Twitter. I mean, really?
She was
You
good
get
on.
rejected
She
from
was
your job
great
on
on The
Twitter.
Mandalorian. She really was. She was
I
really
loved her.
good. And you know what? They always talk about having strong women. They had a really good character. Everyone liked a strong woman, and they fired her.
Oh, as soon as they backtalk, you're fired, or they put something that's not even racially relevant or whatever. And yeah, maybe Elon will. Apparently, there is a rumor that Elon's thinking of buying Disney. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be, but Elon,
There'd be
if you are
SpaceX
there,
advertising on
you
Disney
have to have me on the day of the buy. I want to be there when you fire everyone at Lucas. I have to be there. You have to get me and get Doomcock over there. I want to see it happen. Steven too.
cheering this whole thing on. But if Elon buys Disney, he basically told them to go, take a flying, what.
Yep.
So in the end, I literally canceled my Disney Plus subscription because they fired her. I was like, bye-bye.
Nice.
I'm out. I did. I even wrote in the comments why I'm leaving. You guys fired a good actress, Gina Carano, a strong woman. Goodbye. Never subscribing
She
again.
could pick me up any day of the week. Pick me up, Gina.
Oh, yeah.
Pick me up, throw me over the shoulder. I'm good with
Was
that.
she UFC or wrestling?
She was wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Okay. I thought she was in the UFC. But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, so that was in the news. Don't know what's transpiring there. What else?
You know what? That's a good question. Can Elon? I mean, Elon's got a lot of money. He's the richest man in the world, but can he afford to buy Disney? Disney is still a large company. I'm sure if he did stock options, and he's got very powerful friends as well, I'm sure between a few people, he could muster the money and definitely the backing to buy Disney. I think I'd be pretty. But would he change Disney's name to XX? You know,
I don't know why he even bought Twitter in the first place.
well, I
That's
think
still a mystery to me.
I think he joked about it and he went a little too far, and it became at the point where they couldn't back out. With
He
something.
felt obligated
Yeah,
to buy.
kind not obligated. I think,
Okay, let
the
me get my
government.
wallet.
I think the
Let me get
government
my little
obligated him.
wallet.
Honestly,
You know, I just canceled Disney Plus, and that was the end of that. And there, you know what? Also, it was there was not much on there, to be honest. Like, I'll give you an example. What I was actually surprised on Disney Plus. What is it? Is it Davy Crockett that's on there, or it was Danielle Boone or something? Anyway, some old. You know what I'm saying? Like the old, um, one of those old. I think it was Davy Crockett.
okay.
At the beginning of the series, there's this ginormous disclaimer on how they don't hate Aboriginal people and Indians and all that. And it was like, okay, if you're watching this and you think it was filmed yesterday, you need to get your head checked.
So that's a
Or
problem, I think, with society as a whole today.
this thing,
You know what?
this thing was filmed in the
Movies are
60s?
made in their generation. Okay, watch the movie for what it is. It was made during a generation. You know,
Yeah.
people. The big problem is,
But
if you're
they're-
offended, too effing bad. Get over it.
But they're
Grow up.
offended from something that was filmed in the 60s. Like if you just watch James Bond from the 60s, it's
They
perverted.
ruined him
Island all
too in
day
the last
long.
film. Didn't they ruin him in the last film?
I didn't watch it yet.
No one did, but they think they ruined it in that one. It's ridiculous.
I didn't watch it. I don't mind Daniel Craig, but I never thought he fit the visual part of James Bond, dark hair, tall kind of thing. He's blonde and burly. It didn't seem right. You know what I mean? So I was like, whatever. So,
So that's
Sure.
good news. That is good news. To be quite honest.
oh,
Now,
yeah,
has anyone following Rick and Morty? See, this season, episode 5, apparently had, they tied a bunch of things together. If you haven't seen it yet, I haven't seen it yet.
I
but
haven't seen it. Yeah.
I've heard Rick and Morty episode 5 of this season tied a lot of things together. I see a lot of people in the chat, and yes, we are going to talk about Viper. We are going to talk about iiRcade. There's a lot of things that we talk about. New Wave toys. But right now, we're doing the small talk. This is the beginning part of the show, where we talk the small talk and make you guys
So
get
a
into
little
a
bit
frenzy.
of news on the internet.
Yeah, and then get into your frenzy after we talk about stuff you don't want to hear about to the stuff you do want to hear about.
Are you playing any games lately? Any?
Well, I've been doing a lot of testing. I've had to do a lot of testing on Viper. In fact, I had a lot of things come this week, and this is on my Build-A-Cade, but the Viper Build-A-Cade. So this is running
the vertical monitor.
Viper. It's got the vertical monitor in here. I have also other monitors I'm showing. This does have the Viper in here, so this is going to be ready for sale soon. And the reason for this one is for STEM, and STEM is for education. And to really sell these to schools, it needs to have everything. So you can't really see the screen. It's kind of hard to so bright.
Yeah, it's all blown out.
But
bright,
there is a Viper in this one, and that's ready to go. So I'm hoping with education, kids can build the Build-A-Cade in school, learn a little bit about building, and learn a little bit of programming, and play some games on it as well. And then, of course, take it home and go further on
with
for
it
it.
some more. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I have a couple of contacts in the education market, and we are fully STEM certified. I have a STEM certificate of authenticity. I am STEM certified.
You won't want to hear what I have to say about my gaming stuff.
What gaming stuff?
I've been plunging into Brutal Doom. So it's Doom that some guy modded basically, and it's literally brutal. Like it's blood and guts flying everywhere. Physics of blood. There's like blood sticking to the top of the ceiling. That's how bad it is, and it's awesome. Not that I just discovered it, but I'm sitting down to actually play through this thing. So it's Brutal Doom, classic Doom with guys. Google it when you get a chance. It's awesome.
Thanks, Messiah.
Yeah, there you
Gaming.
go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's awesome.
So the good thing,
good
the
STEM
owner of Old School Gamer magazine is a teacher. So he has
cool.
contacts where he is. Jen knows a lot of people in the education system as well. So I have a lot of contacts, and by having the Viper included in the kit, it's an all-in-one purchase. They have everything, and hopefully that'll take off, which would be great. Outside of that,
that'll be awesome, because I think these kids, even if they're not sure about all this stuff, they'll get to play retro games they know nothing about. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of as Paul just where torturing
We're just
everyone right
getting
now
warmed
with
up.
small talk. You haven't missed anything yet. We're torturing people right now.
We're torturing people.
torturing them.
That's
But
the
I
kind of show
agree.
we're.
I agree. I mean, kids today, they know their cell phones, they know those type of quick games. But a lot of, as we know, a lot of the old school games are very, very fun and
And
learn
they're
them.
lost upon them.
And a
That's the
lot of people,
problem.
like I said, never knew that like Arkanoid had a spinner and that's how you played the game. Or Robotron had 2 joysticks, or the Ikari game had a rotation stick. Those are things they will learn, and hopefully, maybe they'll become programmers themselves, and they will take what they learned playing these old school games into new games, right?
Well, you know what the reality is, Glenn, is that your son and my 2 kids grew up with nerds. Basically, their dad's a nerd, and we took the time to show them this retro stuff. But there's a lot of parents, they're kind of boring, you know, and they don't teach their kids about retro gaming and all that stuff,
Right.
and they never know about it. So they get to school and they go, "I've never seen this game before," which is whatever Pac-Man or whatever, or something less mainstream. I think this is a good opportunity to sort of introduce them to that stuff. You know,
Robotron, Brad D. Robotron's a great game. It's a fun game. One of
you
those
need to be
games.
in the zone and
You
playing
do, but it's an
Robotron.
easy game. It's an easy game to pick up. That's a good thing about these old games. They're easy to learn, hard to
Oh, but it'll
master.
kick your ass though.
Yeah, hard to master.
Though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. Exactly. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's I'm glad that you got you're getting STEM certified, or is
Well,
it
no, we,
already
we
happened?
got certification. We've been STEM certified since Build-A-Cade day 1. So we've had it.
Okay,
But
good.
what we didn't have was, it was hard to get Raspberry Pis. The schools don't want to buy the Build-A-Cade, then have to go buy Raspberry Pi. With the
The one all
Viper,
one shot.
it's all included in the kit. Everything's there. Just go build, program, and go forth on it.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
cool.
the beautiful thing.
Anything else going on in the
well,
wide world of?
I will say New Wave Toys. I've been talking to Shiloh, and Shiloh was going to come on this month. He's still planning on coming on this month. We have our announcement, our joint venture. He's waiting on one piece of information. I'm not sure it's a contract or just a finalization of a contract for that to be signed off on. And then we will have Shiloh on here to discuss the joint
And unveil.
the unveil of the New Wave Toys GRS collaboration that at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, people are going nuts. I know P-Dubs is in the chat right now. They're like, they were haunting us. They were staring us down. Tell us what it is. And we're finally coming down. We're just days, maybe a few weeks away from finding out what this this project is. And I'm excited about it. And if it does well, it just means that we will have more intertwined projects. I'm really happy with working with New Wave Toys. It's funny. I worked with R-Cade 1UP. I was really hoping to get things going with there. They decided to steal my stuff, rip off, and make shitty products. So that's fine. And then I started doing iiRcade, and unfortunately, they went out of business. But we do have some stuff to talk about that. Don't worry. We are going to talk about iiRcade and the GRS Viper switcherboard, so stay tuned for that. And I'm now working with New Wave Toys, and actually I have another company that is a very large company that manufactures full-size machines, but we're still testing the waters right now, so I don't have anything I can verbally announce past that, but that would be another good thing. So
Things are cooking. There's
things
some
are
irons
cooking.
in the fire.
2024 could be a very good year for me. Hopefully a rotten year for R-Cade 1UP. Too bad, so sad. I'm crying a river for R-Cade 1UP, but I'm hoping.
Not me. Not me. Don't care for them much.
So another thing that came in, I have a lot of views I got to work on, is again for the Build-A-Cade. This guy right here, it's our 6-button, or actually 8-button control panel for Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and these use a new type of micro switch. So they're much more responsive than the other ones are responsive. These are much more responsive, and if you look at the buttons, they look a lot more like little
arcade buttons.
So
that's cool.
This is just coming out right now. I know that Gary over at R-Cade Workshop got his, and he's really pleased with it, which is great. I have a couple machines for some Mortal Kombat people who were in the Mortal Kombat game and NBA Jam. The next gaming show I see them at, I will be giving them Build-A-Cades with their respective games on it, which would be awesome. So that's it. I'm actually lined up for a couple of shows as well. I'll be able to talk about that maybe next week, what gaming shows I'll be going to. One is a huge sponsor down in Pennsylvania that got kind of getting blown away what they're doing with me on that one. But I'll talk about maybe more of that next week. And absolutely right, Brad, man. A 6-button. You could play your fighter games and so forth on it, and the buttons are really, really responsive. Which, again, for a game like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, all those games, you're going to want to have those extra buttons. I try to think, what else do we need to talk about here, Steve? What else can we talk about before we start getting into iiRcade
I
stuff?
don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on. There's a bunch of games coming out on, console and stuff like that that look pretty interesting. Prince of Persia. There's a new Prince of Persia game out.
For a Switch?
Switch, Xbox, PS5, I think PS4, and it's a side. I won't say side through scrolling, but it's it moves some. But it's very loyal to the original Prince of Persia. But there's a bunch of fighting mechanics that they threw in there, and it's pretty cool. Ubisoft is also releasing Skull and Bones. It's like a pirate online game. So kind of cool. You got to get your mates on a ship there and start shooting cannons and stuff. I still like to play the modern stuff. I like
But
to
you go
pull
back to the other
retro
ones
stuff,
once in a
but-
while. They're fun.
Well, the new stuff, and I like the old stuff. Just gaming in general. I hope everybody in the chat's like that. That it's you get a good mix in your life. The new stuff, the old stuff, and middle of the road stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Really quick,
That's
Paul.
my cousin Sean showing up at the last minute.
Hey, Sean. Oh, you didn't miss anything. We're torturing people still.
Yeah.
Paul brought up a comment here about the landscape screen. So, one of the things here with the with the Viper is we're making the Build-A-Cade. There'll be some options you can purchase. One will be, yes, we do have a horizontal, a 4.3 aspect ratio screen that will be available soon. We will also have a new back panel available, which allow you to connect a Raspberry Pi, the GRS Viper. I even installed recently a Orange Pi 5 Plus, an RK3588. That beast is running in the Build-A-Cade, and I did a video playing Lycan games on the Build-A-Cade's 4.3 aspect ratio screen. So the Build-A-Cade will have some additional options you can purchase. Now, it's still going to come in the kit with the vertical screen, and we'll offer it with the Viper, but the 4.3 aspect ratio screen and the new back panel, which gives additional functionalities, will be a separate purchase to be able to buy. But again, the price will be very respectable, very low. But we need to keep the Build-A-Cade product line moving because we do have new things we want to do, but we have to kind of sell out of our current stock of units so we can start, making the new generation. And we're still very proud of the way this thing is right now. I got a bunch of them. I have a video coming out with new skins I put on there. I actually had Escape Pod. There's a lot of people make graphics for it. Joe Sabo makes beautiful acrylic. If you want an acrylic artwork, it's beautiful. Joe Sabo's your guy. After that, Escape Pod has done a really nice job. I'll do a video on that. Very high quality vinyl. But he sent me I purchased. But I got the Adventures of Robbie Roto, which is a simple game, but the artwork on there pops so amazingly on it. It looks really, really good.
Cool.
Yes, Defender with the 6-button, you could definitely play that in the Build-A-Cade, absolutely. And again, external you might throw it on your big screen TV as well.
There's some retro news too. This I'm a fan of. Outrun on the Amiga. If you recall, it sucked.
Was that by Ocean?
Something like that. Well, there's a guy remaking it for AGA machines, 1200s, 4000s, and it's looking really good. Like arcade close as much as possible. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of news that comes out like homebrews and things like that. So we'll see.
And I see Steven, the Tech Buzz is in here. So coming soon
who let him in here?
to a YouTube channel near you, the Retro Buzz is coming back. It'll be Steven, the Tech Buzz, Doug, Cool Toy, and myself. But not doing arcade stuff, doing more console stuff and talk about things along those lines. That'll be coming to a Wednesday near you coming soon. Boom.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, I don't have much other news other than
Okay,
You
I
know,
think we
not
tortured
Kathleen
them.
Kennedy, but Gina Carano, Elon Musk thing.
Well, first of all, I love that Elon Musk is like, F them, F Disney, and he got a lawyer
Doesn't
for
care.
her. He got a lawyer for her.
A team of lawyers,
Team
apparently,
of
not
lawyers.
just one guy.
Yeah, and he's
It's
like,
a
F
team.
you guys. I love that. The guy may be an AI alien from the future. I get it. But if that's how the world's going down, as long as Disney goes down with it, I'm all right.
Oh yeah. What's really funny is I don't think he cares if he wins or loses, because I think just the fact that they're going to be in the spotlight, being the bad guy, Disney, for firing a woman. Oh, this
Again,
cannot
a
end well.
strong
This
woman
cannot
character.
end well.
That was Disney's whole thing. They got
had to-
Wonder Ray, who sucks. They had Phasma, who was a horrible stormtrooper. Captain Phasma,
yeah.
she was horrible. You know, Gina Carano was great. Yeah, fire her. Get rid of her.
The one woman that was actually filling their criteria.
Yeah,
to get rid of
everything.
her.
Everything. And the fans
So
liked her,
dumb.
loved her. Idiots.
Oh yeah, I think she was great. She great character. The whole night. She was supposed to have her own spin-off series, and that all fell apart. So stuff like that, where I just hope that they lay the boots to her, basically. You know,
it'd be nice. And if you haven't seen have you seen the Pandaverse yet? Have you seen South Park, the Pandaverse, Stephen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you guys have not seen it, you have to see South Park, the Pandaverse. You got to go see that for sure.
Yeah. My cousin Sean was asking, on the Xbox console, they're going to have Game Pass probably on other consoles.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
They didn't get into details, but when you think about it, it's you know what? In the end, it's all about the game. It's not about the console. It never was about the console. You know,
blame Canada. Blame Canada. Not even a country anyway.
Not even a country anyways. Our prime minister is not the greatest.
All right, so I think we've been torturing people long enough. So let's get into some.
Talk about your new thingamabob there.
iiRcade news. All right, so before I start talking about it this way, I did make a little video because Glenn, he makes videos. That's kind of what I do. Oh, we got a super chat first. Hold on a second.
EasyQL.
What's up, Glenn? Happy Friday. What do I say to that? First of all, EasyQL, thank you so much. You get the...
This here's my boomstick.
There you go. I'm trying to be like everyone else with their little super chat thing. So there we go. Thank you so much, man.
The background on that guy would have been transparent, but it's not.
All right, so we're going to talk about iiRcade. So let me run this little video clip, and then we can discuss the results after the video clip. How's that sound? You want to hear that? You want to know about the iiRcade one? Let me know in the chat. Give me 1 if you want the iiRcade news now. Let me know. 1 for yes, and a 0 no, Glenn. Please torture us some more.
We got 91 people here. Never ceases to amaze me.
Show tunes. We want some show tunes. I'm not too good at show tunes. Well, I got no ones. I guess people don't want to know about the iiRcade.
I was going to sing the Gilligan's Island theme song, but
oh, now we're getting the ones. I got 1 and the game room. I guess. All right, we got 1. I got a 2 from Messiah Gaming. That's not a 1. That's a 2. All right. Here we go. Here is the information. The video. Here we go. That's not it. That's it.
Game on.
Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. This has been a long time in coming. I have another iiRcade video, this time to talk about a new product we're going to be releasing for the iiRcade, and this is the Viper Switcher board for the Legacy and Gold cabinets. There's a lot to unpack and talk about here, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but let's get into why that is. So today's video, the GRS Viper Switcher board for your Legacy and Gold iiRcade. Let's have a look. Okay, we have quite a few things to talk about here. So obviously it's a lot bigger than even I thought it was going to be, but we have a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to go over it step by step. Now right now this is a 3D printed case. This is not going to be what we're going to be doing in production. Production most likely be an acrylic case on this. Right now this was just really for the prototyping. So this is a 3D printed case. Now again, this is going to work in both the original iiRcade, the Legacy unit, or the Gold unit. So one kit will work in both machines. There's nothing else you need to purchase aside from that. And let's go into different things we're going to be including in here. Now this is obviously, well not obviously, but it is. This will be facing the front of a unit. This will be connecting to your control panel on your legacy or gold unit. We'll be connecting that into over here. And we have some USB ports. We have the power, the in power from your iiRcade's 24 volt inlet right there. We have the Viper down here. We've now included a cooling fan and heat sinks on that. We have another port over here with some other items. We're going to go through all this. Some vent holes on the top just to make sure we have good airflow. On the back of the unit, now the amplifier, I know some people have had a problem with their amplifier going bad on their iiRcade Legacy and Gold units. We're including an amplifier here. We actually got the diagram for the amplifier. So we included the amplifier in here so we'll control the speakers directly. This is a master volume for that, but you can still use the two buttons on the control deck for volume up, volume down. This is a master. And this is for the LVDS board, which we had to use to get video from the iiRcade onto the monitor that's in there. So these probably won't ever have to touch, but we include those buttons here as well. So let's take a look now inside the machine. Now, you won't have to do this when you get it, but I'm just going to show you what's going on here anyway. Just take out these 4 screws. Like so. Then we're going to lift off the top. Okay, so going from the very bottom, on the bottom of the unit, you're going to see on the right-hand side is the GRS Viper. And on with the Viper, we're also including now a cooling fan and heat sinks. It's not really necessary, but we're including it anyway. We're also going to include a micro SD card extender. This way you can easily add ROMs to your Viper. Now, the Viper also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which you can transfer over USB. But I'm also giving you guys the option, because Batocera and RetroPie and other things do, as well as the Viper, allow you to use external storage for ROMs. I think it'd be easier to use a micro SD card, but you can go either way. You can put on the internal storage or use the micro USB. Now in the center here is our amplifier. So this is the amplifier that will be taking all the audio and pumping it to your speakers on your Legacy or your Gold cabinets. In front of that is the keyboard connectors for the GPIOs on the original iiRcade motherboard. And then to the left of that is the LVDS board. This will take the HDMI signals from the Viper or the original iiRcade external HDMI port and connect that to the current 19-inch display inside your iiRcade. And of course we have all the buttons that would access the different menu options on the display. Again, you shouldn't have to touch them, but we have it there in any case. Now on the next layer, or the top layer, is probably the main board we're going to be dealing with. On the right hand side, that is the GRS iiRcade switcher board, which allow you to take the GPIOs, the speakers, and the HDMI, all that, switch between the Viper and your iiRcade's original board. Now, if you have the original unit, to the left of the board is an open area, and that's where you will place your original white iiRcade motherboard. So you mount the motherboard there, and we have all the connections there for the Legacy cabinet. Now for the Gold cabinet, that's not necessary. You can connect the cables external to the motherboard in the Gold unit. That'll be a different video. This video we're really just covering the connections here for the Legacy cabinet. It all goes right inside here. The Gold would connect on the outside. Again, very easy to do. And yes, this one unit will work in the Legacy cabinet or the Gold cabinet. For the most part, this is how you'll be dealing with the machine itself. Now, if you have a Gold cabinet, this will be going to your GPIO on the top back of the motherboard on your machine, back up here. But for a Legacy unit, won't be using that cable. You'll have these wires here, which again go to your speakers, your left and right speaker right here. These two cables will be going to your display, so we can now display on the 19-inch screen in your iiRcade. And your GRS Ultimate Control Panel will be connecting to here, where they have the Gold or the regular unit, that'll go into here. And that's pretty much it as far as this goes. I'll make another video with actually installing it in my Legacy cabinet, show you how that goes. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview of this. This is really just a quick overview, kind of showing you the progress. It became a lot more complicated than we thought than simply just putting a little switcher in there. There was a lot more functionality that had to be done, and there were some things that we couldn't work around. So that's it in a nutshell. Now, I will have to say that due to iiRcade no longer being in business, I didn't have access to a lot of things. John and his team are not around. They're not answering any questions. So there were certain things that we could not work around, and I usually don't like releasing things that aren't what I feel perfect. But unfortunately, in this particular case, since iiRcade is no longer around and I can't get any answers on the technical side for some of these things, some things are, I'm going to call quirky ways of it's going to work. One is that when you switch between the Viper to the iiRcade's board, they didn't properly implement HDMI on it, so sometimes the screen will be compressed. It won't be right. So unfortunately, you're going to have to restart or reset the iiRcade, and the display will come up fine. There's no way around that. I reached out to a few people, even Team Encoder. They just did some things weird with the external HDMI, and it doesn't initialize properly. So it doesn't happen all the time, but if you do get a truncated video display, just rebooting the iiRcade side will come up properly. Every time you go to the Viper side, though, it will come up properly. The screen will show properly on the screen. Another thing that's going to be disabled is the headphone jack. Unfortunately, by doing the switching mechanism, iiRcade used some weird, or I should say, customized, I should say, code and I guess hardware to switch between the external speakers and the headset jack. So unfortunately, the headset jack will no longer function when you put this in place. You still have the speakers, you can still adjust the volume, but the actual headphone jack won't work. Maybe we'll come out with some other weird way to get it working, but as for now, just realize that it's not working and the headphone jack may never work. Also with the gold unit, when you turn on your machine with this, you'll have to still, when you go to the gold cabinet mode, you'll have to power it on at that point. It will not automatically turn on. With the legacy cabinet, it will turn on with the Viper and turn on at the same time. But with the gold unit, you will have to turn it on manually, which may be a blessing because now you know the screen will be displayed properly. The last thing I want to mention is since we are using the external HDMI on the gold and the legacy cabinet for our capture display, there are some games, mostly from Sega, where Sega, through licensing, required iiRcade to disable the external HDMI. Now, if you have a legacy cabinet with the Mystery Team Encoder board, you can actually go in there and turn HDMI back on, in which case you will have your Sega games displaying properly. If you don't have the Team Mystery Encoder board, unfortunately, the Sega games will not display. However, the games that are released, you can also load on the Viper side, and you would have the game anyway. So there's really no game that is on the Sega side of the iiRcade that you couldn't put on the Viper side, and you have the license, it's on the iiRcade side, you just can't play it because of the display. You can put it on the Viper side and use it as far as that goes. And of course, the Viper is running Batacera, which also supports light gun games. You can add a lot of light gun games with it as well. Of course, the trackball and the spinners will all be functional. The Star Wars yoke will be functional. The Ikari stick, all those options and other products we make will be fully functional on the Viper side, as well as other things we come out with in the future. That's it in a nutshell. Again, I will do a proper video showing me installing this in the legacy cabinet. And the reason I'm doing that is there's about 4,500 people with legacy cabinets that want to see how this gets installed in there. The gold cabinet will be fairly easy as well, and when I get another unit, I'll do a video for the gold cabinets. But the gold cabinets will be probably a little bit easier because of just the way that you don't have to remove the board and put it in here. It's really just connecting the USB, the GPIOs, and power, and that would get that going. There's about under 300 people with those. So I'm going to do a video initially with how this gets installed in Legacy, but I will do one on the iiRcade Gold as well. I hope you guys are still excited. I know there's a couple of issues on here, but we just could not work around it. Without iiRcade's technical team, engineering team, and software developers, there's nothing more we can do on that. So if you are interested, the pre-orders will be up shortly. They'll be definitely up this month for the pre-orders, and the price is going to be about $120. Now, I know we were always shooting for $50, and that was the absolute goal, but the project ended up being a lot bigger than we thought. There was a lot more engineering we had to do, again, without having the technical team at iiRcade. So $120 is the bare minimum we could sell this for, and I hope that's still acceptable to you guys. If it is, the pre-orders will be open shortly with shipping in April. That's the goal. Of course, if you're not, I do apologize, but we did the best we could to try and support the iiRcade and move this machine from a closed architecture now to a fully open architecture that we continue building the community on. But that's it for this video. I do appreciate your time. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up.
Okay, that's gonna be when it's posted on YouTube. But I gotta pose this real quick. First of all, I saw this, and Jason is hysterical when I saw this. That's no switcherboard. That's a space station. I saw that, and I just busted out laughing. Jason says,
I was just waiting for that guy to just shut up. Oh my God, long-winded. I don't know if you know him, Glenn, but geez.
He does talk a lot. And also, we had one super chat from
I fell asleep over here. I was like, oh.
Caveman Money Shot. Thanks for $4.99 super chat. Fantastic boomstick. Happy Friday indeed. And let's head over to the iiRcade. So we did see that, but since you did that, we have to do this one more time. It just has to be done.
This here's my boomstick.
There we go. So thank you so much for the super chat. So I'm going to open the floor here, obviously, to questions on it.
I think it's great that you guys are doing that for a machine that's the company went under, basically.
Well, the hardest part was
keeping it going.
The hardest part was I was still hoping we'd have some way to contact both John, his technical team, and Michael. I reached out a few times. I got a lot of crickets coming back. Or maybe they're near a singularity, and my signals got into the black hole. So unfortunately, there's certain things we couldn't work around. But I know in that video I said we'll do pre-orders most likely this month for shipping in April. However, I have now done the install video. Hopefully, I'll be up this week. And I did the install, and there's some things that me being who I am, I'm not happy with. So I talked to my team. So we may be delaying that a little bit. And I hope you understand. But if we're going to release something, I've always released things that I would want to purchase. I want to release things that are done right. I want to release things that the most bang for the buck. And there were a couple of things I told Steven about before, and I will discuss in my video, my install video, which again will be out this weekend, that I felt were not acceptable. Not to me.
Don't rush it out the
and
door,
not
man.
to you
Your
guys.
name's on that thing.
Exactly. I want you guys to have something you're going to love to play and love to use. And again, in the video I'm going to drop this weekend, I felt that the board needs a little more time. A couple of things need to be adjusted before it's really for prime time. So I hope you guys understand. And again, with the price point, we were going for $50, but there's just no way. Between all the things we had to do, between the switcher board, the amplifier we had to do, and the plexiglass case, I think 120. Again, my guys hate me, but that's the lowest we can get it. And Messiah, thank you. I do appreciate that. I want you guys to have something. If it takes another month, an additional month, but to get it right, to get it so it's working the way it should work, so you guys can just press one button and start playing. I think that's what it needs to be. But again, I'll discuss most of that in the video. But if you have any questions, do hit me up right now. In the meantime, I'm going to take a little drink from here and let Steven. What do you think, Steven? You saw the video.
What am I going to say? No,
I don't
know. No, I think, like I was saying earlier, I mean, you guys are making, like, oh, by the way, I have no affiliation with Glenn's products at all, like zero. I just look at it from a bird's eye perspective, so to speak. And Glenn knows me by now. I will tell him if it sucks or not. And I still think the boomstick was a bad marketing name, but not the other way around. Sorry, not using it was a bad thing. But in the end, it's cool that you guys are making this stuff for this machine that pretty much a doorstop for people, in a sense. So good.
I got one question here from Jeff. With the new Viper box even supporting switching to the iiRcade board, it seems the Viper box makes the iiRcade board obsolete. It absolutely does. But I know you guys
people probably still have the other.
Well, it's not even so much that, but I know people paid for the iiRcade. They paid for that board. They paid for their games. Now, yes, pretty much every single game you can play on the iiRcade board, my board can handle with ease. Mine's a more powerful board, but still, you guys paid for it. So I want you guys to be able to see the boot up logo for iiRcade, see the screensaver, all the stuff that you bought the iiRcade for. I want you guys still to have that. But yes, when you have the Viper in there anyway, it really does make it obsolete. But I still want you guys to have what you paid for. That was kind of the point. I want you guys.
Well, let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. Is this technically kind of like a no-cut mod in a sense where you're not cutting wires,
No,
you're not nothing,
no, there's no
so that
soldering,
if a
no cutting.
person,
It's
well, what
completely
I'm getting at
reversible.
is,
It is
well, that's
reversible.
what I mean. If somebody is out there going, I want an iiRcade untouched, I want it
Right.
like it was when it came out and somebody's willing to sell,
Yep.
they can have this thing in there, disconnect everything,
Yep.
keep the Viper board to
Yep.
do their other stuff,
Right.
sell off the machine so that they're not cutting all the wires.
Yeah,
and-
there's no cutting. Again, when I do the install video, you'll see it. You can take your old cables and put them away or throw them away, whatever you want to do. But it's completely reversible. Jared asked, looks great. Maybe too soon to ask, but any other arcade mods in the future? Yeah. Well, to be honest, the Ultimate Control Panel has USB ports and has mounting spots. So we do have future things planned, like the flight yoke, the Star Wars yoke, the Ikari stick, steering wheel controls. Those are things we always had planned before iiRcade went bankrupt. So we still have plans of bringing them out. Absolutely.
Yeah, you better answer questions in the chat.
And
People are gonna be asking you-
my Hawk Hurts, or my Hawk Hurts, however you want to say it, that was the big problem. So the Viper board itself, we're selling pretty much almost a cost at $39.99, $40 right there. So I think we were going to do it for $10. I am not a corporate guy. I'm a gamer. I'm one of you guys. So that number kind of was way off. So $120 between the cables, the connectors, the amp board, and then of course the switcher board itself. Now I'm hoping in time, as we sell more, as you manufacture X amount, prices come down. Maybe we could do it a little bit cheaper, but I would still expect it's gonna be around that price point. And I do apologize, because we were always saying $50, but it's just not possible to do it at $50.
I just clued in that guy's name, what it means.
Okay.
I have to read it.
What do you mean?
The previous guy that not Adam, the previous person.
This?
Yeah, read it nice and slow.
My Hawk Hurts.
Yeah.
My Hawk Hurts.
No, not Hawk. You put
Hawk.
the KE in front. Yeah.
My Hawk Hurts. What are you talking about? It's what it is.
Yeah. This is a family show.
So Will's asking, yes, the Viper board will absolutely be sold as a standalone product because it is basically a Raspberry Pi equivalent. Depending on the system using, because we're going to be selling it with the Batacera 3.8 initially, but also R-Cade, who is a much more optimized for the R-Cade series of chips. It's going to be between a Raspberry Pi 3 and a 4 as far as its performance. But at $40, you get the 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. So you can put the game ROMs literally on the Viper or use the micro SD card slot if you want to go that way. A cool thing that we did with the Viper, though, is you can connect the Viper directly to your PC, and it will be seen as a mass storage device. You can just copy the game ROMs literally directly over a USB port and put the game ROMs right on there. But it will be sold independently because we want it not only to be in the iiRcade, not only in the Build-A-Cade, for people who are just building their own arcade machines, the Viper board, and eventually the Viper Venom. And the Viper Venom is our RK3588 series, which is, a very powerful chipset we made available for it. So we're kind of hoping the community, the retro community, will kind of take that board, being as inexpensive it is, and kind of work it into more and more projects. That's kind of the hope. So
Nice
could we
and
just
chill
buy the
show
switcher
tonight.
components? We'll probably, yes, 120 games, we probably will eventually offer the switcher board because the switcher board can be used. We made it more robust, so it can be used in more than just the iiRcade. So yes, we will be able to offer that after the initial release for the iiRcade. We will be offering that board most likely independently as well. I don't know the cost on it.
I got
though.
another question for you.
Sure.
Glenn.
Go.
Is that switcher, if somebody wanted to put a Raspberry Pi in there instead of the Viper, is it compatible? Probably not.
No,
but it's
it's
just a question that I think to be
kind
thrown
of
out
Messiah
there,
Gaming and asked me the same thing because Messiah Gaming, they're coming out with their RK35 series, a very powerful machine. So yeah, you could put other SBCs in there. We're going to be always selling it though with the Viper. It's a package.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
if you did want to take the
Curious.
Viper out and use it for something else and put something else in there, yes, you could. You could do that. Absolutely, you could. We don't. I'm not here. I don't want to restrict people. I want people to be creative with the stuff. You can use my stuff or not, but I want you guys to be creative. And we have a Caveman Money Shot again. Can't wait to pre-order. Looks fantastic. I want to order your other products now too for it. Have you thought about offering a bundle? We probably will. I mean, we try and do sales and stuff like that as much as we can. So I'm sure we will. So again, thanks again for the super chat. I guess wait, I got to do it again, right? It's kind of how it goes.
This here's my boomstick.
There we go. So yeah, I'm sure we will. But the ultimate goal of my products and T-Sticks is to offer the highest quality stuff at the lowest prices. And if we could do that in a bundle, if people want a bundle for something, we would offer it. So I would say, give us an email saying, give us some suggestions of what kind of bundles you guys would want to see. We'll put out some feelers if people want to do that, and maybe we will offer it. And I do appreciate that it's a great price. I was really trying to get the price down lower, but we just can't. I mean, 120 was, my guys wanted to hang me by my, they want to hang me. They weren't happy. But I want you guys to get these and not spend a lot of money. Man, Cool Toy, I'll talk to him when we start the Retro Buzz again. Cool Toys, he's got to give out his ROMs. He's got all the gaming ROMs. He's got to give them out. And I know some people saying in there about the installation. The installation is not difficult. It isn't, but it does take time. I think it'll probably take most people half an hour to remove your old equipment and put this in. But once it's in, that's really it. The really thing I really did notice was I think our sound is a lot more loud. I mean, it was loud to the point where I literally couldn't stand near it. I had music blasting. I was like, oh my God, I'm losing, my ears are bleeding. So if you really like loud speakers, you will definitely get that inside here.
Is it a manual volume adjuster or
there's the volume still on the machine. You can use the volume up and down on the machine, but also on the back we have a master. So if your kids are known for blasting it, you can go in the back of the unit and kind of tweak it down so you can't make
set
their ears
on
right.
it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Super chat from Twine for Die. Thank you once again. Can we use your two-way switcher with the bash box inside the iiRcade? Well, hold on, I got to do this first.
This here's my boomstick.
Man, that's going to get tired fast. The answer is yes. So the gateway switchers, take a step back. So the Viper inside here, you can connect the gate switchers, and if people set up the software, you can have it automatically switch back and forth. With the button, you can still do that. Now, if Bashbox supports, we have an API. If they support our API, the game itself would automatically switch it depending on if it's Pac-Man, and then you're playing some, a Robotron. It would move the gates automatically. But if it doesn't, if your machine you're using doesn't support the automatic mode, you can still use the button, the gateway button, to switch between the two different modes. So you can still do that. And thank you so much again, Trying for Die, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Can you make it where I can see my iiRcade logo and boot up? I hate seeing the boot up screen. Well, the only way around that would be to load Dragon's Lair on Daphne on the Viper, in which case you would not see that logo. That's probably the only way you could do that. And you would actually have the arcade version of Dragon's Lair, where the iiRcade version is a modified PC port, of Dragon's Lair. So you would actually get the real version, Daphne, with the Viper. Open for any more questions. We still have a little time left, about 9 more minutes. Any more questions? If not, Steven, in the meantime, what do you got going on this weekend? Anything major?
No. I've just been playing, the odd game and catching up on Star Trek. Started watching Star Trek Next Generation all over again. So the last episode I watched, Picard got picked up by the Borg, and classic episode. I think that's the end of season 3. So just
Good
watching
season.
that. So yeah. So just been going back to the classics as far as TV, because right now there's not much coming out. So
real quick here, Chits for Brains was asking about the boomstick, when it's coming out. Well, I can let you guys know we have a few thousand on a boat. Literally, I can say a boat from China. People say that. slow boat from China. So they are on their way right now to our warehouse in New Jersey and Amazon. So as soon as they come into port, once they're in port, we'll open up the orders. So I'm expecting it's going to be definitely this month that the GRS Sinden Target Pro boomstick should be available. And we got another super chat from JLS Gaming, $5. Let's go. Doubleheader. Let's make up for the last week. We did. Oh, I got to do it again.
This here's my boomstick.
This is going to be so bad.
We'll let that guy in here.
Yeah, and I do apologize, man. That COVID is still like I am shot this weekend. I'm going to another super
Everybody's
chat.
getting it.
We're getting these super chats. They're crazy. Oh, Messiah Gaming, first of all, says he loves me some Star Trek, and I'm a Trekkie myself. If I had a choice between Star Wars and Star Trek, I would pick Star Trek because I do think the stories are more diverse.
I like it all.
I still like it, but Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek, Buck Rogers, and Star Wars.
What? I was talking to a friend of mine about Star Trek, and we'll get to the super chat in a minute. But he said something interesting: is that it's always hopeful type of television. Star Trek, oh, men and women used to do this 100 years ago, being addicted to money and drugs, and that kind of thing. And they always talk about like a better humanity. You know what I mean? And I think we probably need a new Star Trek with that on TV.
We do. And you know what, Adam, Caleb, I want to thank you, buddy. This is what COVID's affected me. The pre-orders are already live for the GRS Sinden Target Pro. If you go to thunderstickstudios.com, right on the main page, the GRS Target Pro boomstick is up for pre-orders. And they are on the way to the States. So if you pre-order it, you should get it in a couple of weeks. So, Adam, thanks, man. See, COVID's for brains. What are you going to do?
So, Steven asked me a question here. Basically asked me if I've watched Enterprise, and I have. I love it. I think the last season of Enterprise is, maybe about halfway and on. It sucks because it's all over the place and incomprehensible.
Actually, I liked the last season, and I think they killed the show just as it was getting its stride. Like the first and second season.
Towards the end when they're wrapping it all up.
They did it too fast.
Yeah,
they were doing it. They needed
more.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, thank you very much, guys, for coming out.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
they
blah,
did it way too fast.
And then it's like, oh. But other than that, a great show. It felt like Sanford and Son in space kind of thing, where everything was held on by duct tape and bubble gum.
The last episode with Riker and Troy it just destroyed everything. It was horrible. Didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Triumph or Die, give a super chat. I meant to ask, is it possible to use the Bash box instead of the Viper SPC? The answer is yes. Actually, the Bash box team had reached out to me already, and I gave them the information that they needed, and there's no reason why the Bash box would not work, to be quite honest. So the answer is yeah, you should be able to use it. And we had another super chat come through, Jason. I think, as well, didn't we? Yes, Jason. Our local AI. Want to read this one, Stephen?
Yeah, Viper looks great, Glenn. A highlight for this spring for sure. Very excited. Take your time, get it right. Of course.
Like that's the thing. I
think that's why Glenn is. He basically, we were talking before the show, and he's like, no, send it back.
Yeah, I don't want to release something that you guys are going to get and be disappointed. I want you guys to be excited when you get it. I want it to be an experience. I want you guys, when you buy the products, everyone was unilaterally happy with it. And if I'm not happy with it, I don't want to release it. And I'm not really happy with the way it is right now. I know my team was, because they worked on it really hard, but I think it could be better. And I'm going to have my little tantrum. I want what I want. I want what's right for you guys.
Let's hope they check it out. Everybody's still talking about Enterprise and Star Trek.
They are. How will I announce the pre-orders? I would suggest make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel, Glenn's Retro Show, make sure you are subscribed, because that is probably one of the first spots I will make announcements to any pre-orders. Or if you're on Facebook, you can go to Glenn's Retro Show Game Gurus, because that's also where I make my announcements there as well. Or Twitter, or X. I'm sorry, X.
No, it's right here. And it's called Straight from the Horse's Mouth, and the horse is Glenn.
You could do that. You could do that too. And Jason, really quick, post up. Jason, I did post up, but I forgot to do this. Hold on.
This here's my boomstick.
There we go. That was for super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Buck Rogers, the first season was great. The second season was painful. Buck Rogers in space on the cruise ship, the Love Boat, it was quite painful. And Twiki's voice was horrible. He was talking just like this. Hey, Buck. No, he ruined him. I'm sorry.
So after Next Generation, which Star Trek should I jump into?
Well, Deep Space Nine. I mean, I definitely like Deep Space Nine as well.
The movies, maybe, of Next Generation after the whole 7 seasons.
I like Generations, and I like Generations.
No, but like, does it follow? Okay, so this is a question for you, Glenn, or the people in chat. So I'm gonna watch all of Next Generation, but after that, the movies came out after that was done, right?
No,
Or it came in between, or whatever. I don't know.
I think
I'm
right.
asking the
It did.
question.
Yeah, the first movie Generations
I
came out
don't
after
know.
the season's wrapped up. It did.
So after the 7th season, the movies started coming
Yep.
up. Basically, okay.
Have you not
So
seen
they
the
should
movies?
kind of, What's that? Sorry, Glenn.
You didn't see the
Oh.
movies yet?
Oh, I did a long time ago.
Babylon 5
So-
is I love Babylon 5. Love Babylon 5.
I'll have to watch it again.
Very few things brought a tear to my eye. When Captain Kirk died in Generations, I'm going to admit, I was crying. And when Sheridan, the show ended and Sheridan left, I was crying too. And if you don't cry in those things, you're not human. Just saying. Just saying.
Something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you. Another super
We
chat.
got
Look
2
at this.
minutes left of the show, so
Billy
let's.
McGowan, $2 super chat. Amazing work, Glenn. I can't wait to get mine. You know what that means?
This here's my boomstick.
Man,
Well, you have to come up
Thanks,
with something
Billy.
else for
I do.
Super
I
Chats
really
next
wasn't
week.
going to use it. I wasn't going to do that, but you know what? So many of these other YouTubers always do something with super chats. I'm like, I'll throw that up there. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Annoy people.
He should have
You know
been
what?
smaller in the bottom
I
left or something.
Never followed Andromeda. Steve, did you watch Andromeda?
A little bit, the first few episodes, and I couldn't get into it.
Some people
some
said it's really
reason.
good. I couldn't get into it either. Just like Earth Final Conflict. I tried to get into it, and it just
Yeah,
didn't
I couldn't
work.
watch. That one was too hokey for me. I don't know why, but I don't know. So it's Picard. Yes, I've been watching Picard, but I kind of stopped after the first 2 seasons of Picard.
I watched about 5 episodes of Picard, or 4 episodes, and I'm like, I couldn't stomach it anymore, and I turned it off.
Well, doesn't 7 of 9 show up and all kinds of people?
Yeah, she's a
show
lesbian
up?
now. Because she has to be
Whatever.
a lesbian. Strong character has to be a lesbian.
Borg lesbian. There you go.
Yep.
That's what we all need in our lives. So we got 1 minute. So
Messiah
maybe we should wrap
loves
things up.
Earth Final Conflict, so maybe we got to give that a try.
I don't know. So yeah, we're at the top of the hour.
We are at
dude.
the top of the hour. So
We're-
listen, keep an eye out this weekend. I will be posting the video we just saw in here, obviously, but I will be posting the video showing you step by step how to install the GRS iiRcade Viper switcher board in your legacy iiRcade. That's a lot of words.
That's a mouthful, man.
It is. That'll definitely be out this weekend. Listen, Steve and I are always grateful you guys join us every week here on Kickin'it Old Skool. We're trying to keep the show going.
Like
We're almost at 100 episodes.
people here. It's like, what the hell?
And we're almost
100
at
people, 100 episodes. It's
Almost
like
getting
crazy.
there. We're at 90 right now. 90.
Me and Glenn, I remember talking, hey, maybe we'll get 20 people. Now we're sitting at 100. It's good.
But listen,
Don't let it
I
get to our heads.
I want to thank you guys for joining. I want to thank you guys for your support. I appreciate you guys understanding about the price point and a little bit of the delay because I want things to come out right. And if you want to spread the words to the community that it is coming out, but I want to make it right. But that's it. I really appreciate every one of you guys.
Yeah.
And Steven, I appreciate you too, bud. You're a good guy.
Yeah. You're all right, too.
You want to take us out, Mr.
All right.
Steven?
Yes. Maybe I should try something different other
Do
than
it.
saying
Do
the
it.
same lines
You know
as
what? You
Glenn.
do what you want to do today. It's a special day.
Okay. Good night, guys. No, I'm joking. It's not deep as profound, but just tell your loved ones you love them every day. You never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow's never promised, like Glenn says, and I agree with him 100%. So give everybody a big wet kiss and tell them you love them. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
And what
Have
do
a good
we
one.
say?
Have
What
a
do we
great
say?
weekend.
What do we say? What do we say? You got to say it now.
Game on.
Oh, you game on.
Game on.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.